Well up, welcome to the legendary moments. Now I have something for you. Something very shock I saw today, and I just want to air my view on what I think about it. Just watch this video, come back to the legendary moment. Let's talk about it.
Neyo, a rapper. Neyo. I think it's Neo. He said a thing, got canceled, apologized, unapologized.
What?
So now we're in a good spot where I'm very pro Neo again. I lost track somewhere in the Neo path along the way. But here's what Neo said that got him canceled.
I have no issue with the LBGT. I have no problem with with nobody. Okay,
Right.
Love who you love, do what you do.
Exactly.
I just personally come from an era where a man was a man and a woman was a woman, and it wasn't but two genders, and that's just how I rocked.
Me
now,
too.
You could identify as a goldfish if you feel it.
Right.
I don't care.
agree.
That ain't my business. It becomes my business when you try to make me play the game with you. I'm not gonna call you a
Right.
goldfish, but
Exactly.
you want to be a goldfish, you go be a goldfish. It's all good.
Amen.
So this is a very mild position. I don't consider this to be particularly conservative. In fact, this was a liberal position 10 years ago. The position that Neo is expressing there is a fairly liberal position, which is do whatever you want, just like don't force it down my throat all the time, because we know there are actually two sexes, right? That's a very moderate position, but it was still too right-wing for the libs, so they tried to cancel Neo. Very upset by this. I've now known of Neo's existence for almost 20 hours, and I was very sorry to see that he almost got canceled for this. Then he apologized. Very frustrating. He tweeted out, "I'd like to express my deepest apologies. After much reflection, I'd like to express my deepest apologies that anyone that I may have hurt with my comments on parenting and gender identity. I've always been an advocate for love and inclusivity for the LGBTQI+ community. So I understand how my comments could have been interpreted as insensitive and offensive." So super lame. Then I was very anti-Neo. Neo's dead to me when I saw that apology. But then Neo unapologized.
What's going on, loved ones? This is Neo. All right, listen. I normally don't give too much of a damn about what y'all think about what I do, what y'all have to say about what I say, whatever. I normally don't care because, like I said, opinions ain't special. Everybody got one. However, this is something I feel very strongly on, and I need y'all to hear this from the horse's mouth, not the publicist's computer. So check this out. First and foremost, I do not apologize for having an opinion on this matter. I am a 43-year-old heterosexual man raising 5 boys and 2 girls, okay? That's my reality. Now, if my opinion offended somebody, yeah, sure, I apologize for you being offended because that wasn't my intention. My intention is never to offend anybody. However, I'm entitled to feel how I feel. I'm absolutely entitled to feel how I feel the same way you are entitled to feel how you feel. I ain't asked nobody to follow me. I ain't asked nobody to agree with me. I was asked a question and I answered the damn question. Okay? I have no beef with the LGBTQIA+ community whatsoever. I ain't got no beef with y'all. Do whatever the hell it is you want to do. Do what you want to do with your kids. However, somebody asked my opinion on this matter, and this is how I feel. I will never be okay with allowing a child to make a decision that detrimental to their life. I will never be okay with that.
Okay, so basically a good answer.
Now, when I say I hate democracy, people will be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't like democracy for anything. In football, we receive racism all the time. We see it happen. Nobody gets banned. Nobody is suspended, yet it continues. Could this be a tactic used by the government to destabilize the human race? Could this be a tactic to always make us fight against each other? Now, this is a few people who really understand what the world is all about, and this is what I want you all to do. Take this trend up.
The shocking murder of Ahmaud Arbery is another reminder that racism in America still exists.
And that during a pandemic, Black people face many kinds of threats when we leave our homes.
That we live in a country where those who have sworn to serve our communities harm them.
By protecting hate and racism instead of justice.
We know that when it comes to a racist attack, one person may pull the trigger,
but multiple hands are on the gun.
The 2 white men who stalked and murdered Ahmaud while he innocently jogged near his home were never arrested or charged until recently.
Gregory McMichael and his son Travis were free to move on with their lives. It took over 2 months to do what could have happened on day 1.
All because the two district attorneys, George Barnhill and Jackie Johnson, denied Ahmaud's mother the justice that she deserved.
Ahmaud would have just turned 26.
He could have been my son.
He could have been my brother.
It could have been me.
He could have been any one of us.
Like Breonna Taylor and Sean Reed and all of our young Black sisters and brothers murdered by racist vigilantes or officers.
We know that we have the power to make our district attorneys work for us.
To demand the protection and justice that our communities deserve and to fight until that justice is real.
So stand with us.
And make your voices heard.
Until the district attorneys who failed to provide Ahmaud and his family justice are held accountable.
Please hashtag Justice for Ahmaud.
Justice for Ahmaud.
Justice for Sean. Justice for Breonna.
Now you see what I'm talking about. I always say this in almost all my videos. I talk about things like that. If the government can spend billions of dollars to eradicate anti-LGBT or whatsoever, now why can't they use the same energy in eradicating poverty, racism, and the rest of it? This is inhuman. I think the government is up to something, and we all should stand and look for it. Check out this next video. This is what should happen.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility for every unchecked moment.
For every time it was easier to ignore than to call it out for what it was.
Every not so funny joke. Every unfair stereotype.
Every blatant injustice, no matter how big or small.
Every time I remained silent.
Every time I explained away police brutality. Or turned a blind eye.
I take responsibility. Black people are being slaughtered in the streets, killed in their own homes. These are our brothers and sisters.
Our friends, our family. We are done watching them die. We are no longer bystanders. We will not be idle. Enough is enough.
I will no longer allow an unchecked moment. I will no longer allow racist, hurtful words, jokes, stereotypes, no matter how big or small, to be uttered in my presence.
I will not turn a blind eye.
And killer cops must be prosecuted. They are murderers. We can turn the tide. It is time to take responsibility. Call out hate. Step up and take action.
I think I cringed so hard watching that video that I popped like 6 blood vessels all over my body. That's actually an understatement of how much I cringed. I contorted my body. I felt bugs crawling underneath my skin. This story is not substantive. I will give you that. But I had to talk about it. I had to talk about it today. It was like the video that was released of other celebrities singing Imagine about the coronavirus pandemic. It's just self-congratulatory. It's meaningless. It's making it about themselves. I mean, how many times did you hear those white celebs say I? And just like that Imagine video, when Kristen Wiig was in it, a little part of me died because obviously I love her, but like Julianne Moore, Stanley Tucci, Ilana Glazer from Broad City, just why? And you guys are supposed to be like the best actors around, and yet it's so obvious that you're acting when you're talking about this. Like, they can't even sell it. They can't even sell the acting that they're doing for the video, and it just becomes, it comes off as so preening.